Ladies and gentlemen, I got a little bit of the Spinners. I'll be working my way back to me, babe. What a happiness and times I get away. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I don't play it every day, but I'm going to play it from now on. You know, I've been waking up and I've been playing music. And I can tell you that I have actually been feeling a little bit better these days. I've been seeing a little pep in my step, a little smile. As a matter of fact, I woke up the other day and I'm like, you know what? This is a perfect day. And I felt that way. Until I ran into the popos. That's right, minding my own business. I had to go and get myself some supplies. You know, because I live out in the middle of nowhere. And I went and got myself some supplies, ladies and gentlemen. And we're literally minding our own business. But the person I went with, he is ignorantly stubborn. You know, he figures he can, skirt the edge of the law. And so we were getting some propane. And he parked in the red zone in a parking lot. Multi-shopping center parking lot. And I told him, I said, look, why don't you park right there? Because it's not in the red. Oh, well, no, it's the shade. And we can, park here because we're getting propane. And then we got the propane. I said, okay, now why don't you move your car out of the red? No, we're going to be here just for a couple of minutes, so I'll just leave it there in the shade. I said, excuse me? I said, sir, go ahead and pull your car out of the red. I said, the police are in this area all the time because I come here. This is where I come all the time. And so you need to understand that ain't a good thing. He, quite literally, said, nah, it'll be all right. I said, sir, pull your car out of the, no, we'll be okay. We're only going to be here a minute. So I go in the store and I get what I'm getting now is primarily for him now. And we get the item. We have a representative, the manager of the store is helping us. And I tell him, as I just walk by the front entrance, there's a police car outside. You need to go move your car. Oh, they're not going to worry about it. I said, go move your car. So he goes and he moves the car and he parks it in the stall. Like he should have done in the first place. Ladies and gentlemen, the police car left. We finish. I pay for the shopping. And the part he needs, we have to go to a different store. So we go back outside. I said, now. And I bring up the police again. I said, as I told you, because of the homeless people that they use that hotel for, I said the police are here all the time because the shop owners have complained because the crime in this area has gone up. Whatever, yabbity yabbity yabba. So we go into the second store, which is a grocery store, which is similar to Trader Joe's. It's called Grocery Outlet. I'm actually appreciating it a lot more. At first I thought it was a ghetto store, but they actually have a lot of neighborhood grown food packaged and sold, and a little bit more healthy. Not a lot more healthy, but a little bit more healthy because it doesn't have all those other extra ingredients that's going to cause carcinogens like, did you hear? The WHO? Not Doctor Who, but the WHO, the World Health Organization, has just said that, pay attention, ladies and gentlemen, they have just said that a particular ingredient may be a carcinogen. A particular ingredient may be a carcinogen. Hold on one second. Let me go take care of this. As I said, the World Health Organization has suggested that aspartame might be a carcinogen. was trying to create rat poison, and he decided to taste it. And oh, it tastes sweet. And so aspartame, I apologize, it actually went back on pause when I wasn't supposed to. So I'll get back to the store and speak about us leaving the store. After we left the store, we're in the car, we put everything inside. I'm talking to him about the fact that he should have moved his vehicle and parked it in the stall originally. Said it made no sense. And he was explaining how it didn't matter, blah, blah, blah. The police didn't do anything. They're not worried about him. And I said, sir, the police are in another parking lot watching us leave. And as we're getting ready to pull backwards, I said, see, there's the police car. Yeah, he's going over there to those homeless people. And we get into a conversation about the homeless people and the hotel that they are using for putting the homeless people. And we pull out, and as we pull out, we make a right, and I said, you're going to make a left up here at the corner. And as I'm saying, you're going to make a left up here at the corner, he says, the police are behind us. And then I said, okay. He says, are they pulling me over? And I look and I see in my mirror a blue light. And I said, pull over. And he pulled over. Then I said, I am going to let you handle this. Then he says something that is completely unbelievable. He says, the registration is expired. Now, registration is expired, no big deal. I've been in cars, registration is expired, no big deal. Ladies and gentlemen, police officer walks up to the car, says, sir, you know why I pulled you over? He says, yeah, the registration's expired. And I'm like, whatever. And as they're having a conversation, license, registration, and asking where you guys headed, and he's explaining everything. He's telling them how far we live away from the city, and everything that's going on, and what we're doing, and how we're stocking up, and how he's doing stuff for me, and officer hasn't said nothing to me the whole time. Now, I did initiate conversation with the officer, and I'll tell you how. Officer said something that I didn't know about, and it completely shocked me. Because I know it's a no-no, because I'm from the hood, and we're taught by our parents things like this. Pay attention. Officer says, oh, and while I'm here, if you can keep the knife in your pocket. What the? Keep the what in your mother? What? Ladies and gentlemen, the officer literally said, while I'm here, if you can keep the knife in your pocket. Now, hold on. That was interesting. I really will tell you that was interesting, hearing that. Because I know that if it had been me, he would have said, sir, I need you to step out of the car. Pay attention. Because you know their routine. Do you have any knives, any weapons, any blah, blah, anything that could hurt me? Pay attention. They have a script that they read. I say to the officer, after the officer is getting ready to let him take care of his business while he says he's going to go back to the car, and I tell the officer, when we leave, I will make sure that that goes in the glove compartment. I don't allow people to be around me with knives. Sorry, you don't get to have weapons around me. That is my rule. The officer says, oh, and who are you? I said, excuse me? He said, do you have any ID on you? I said, I'm a passenger. You know better. He says, excuse me? I said, I am a passenger. You know better than to ask me for ID. The officer says, sir, it's not illegal. I said, I didn't say it was illegal. I said, you know better than to ask a passenger for identification. He said, sir, I can ask you for your name. What's your name, sir? And I told him, Eon. And he said, Zeon. How do you spell that? I said, what? How do you spell it? Sir, my name is Eon. And then right on cue, Mister, I got a knife in my pocket. I don't have registration, and I'm going to park in the red, says, oh, it's Eon. And I looked at him. I promise you, I would have been put for assault because I was getting ready to backslap him with my left hand. But if I didn't have that stupid injury, the officer walks away. And I tell him, don't you ever get in my business like that ever again. Now, he could have said, well, you got in my business by telling about putting a knife in the glove compartment. And I would have simply have said to him, look here, you ignorant mother. You had a knife on you walking around with me. And you have no clue that I don't tolerate that I don't allow that. But I didn't. He says, okay, I won't do that the next time. Ladies and gentlemen, of course, the officer ran my name. Now, I want to tell you, this is the actual experience. I did not realize it until afterwards. The officer comes back and he says, okay, usually with registration that's expired more than 6 months, we are permitted to tow vehicles. He says, but I'm going to let you off with a warning. You can tell the young lady who has the vehicle that she needs to get the vehicle registered, blah, blah, blah. And you guys go ahead and finish out your day so you guys can get back home. Okay? Now, technically, he gave us permission to drive around with an expired tag. Ladies and gentlemen, I want y'all to pay attention to this because this is very important. The officer says, and you can tell your friend to watch his attitude. Now, let me tell you why he said to watch my attitude. He said, sir, to the first guy, do you have any warrants? Are you on probation? Are you evading arrest? He says, no, I'm not on probation. And he asked me the same. I said, I'm one of Jehovah's Witnesses. Officer, please stop. He says, what? What am I doing? Officer, please stop. Sir, officer, will you please stop? He said, I don't know why you're getting frustrated. I don't know why you're getting upset. And I said it one more time. Officer, please stop. That's why he's saying for me to watch my attitude. Now, pay attention. He didn't say that to me. You need to watch your attitude. Okay? He said there's no reason to get an attitude, and I turned my face forward and I ignored him. At that point, I ain't got nothing to say to you. You want to escalate this? We'll have a good time. Ladies and gentlemen, he came back. He made the comment about tell your friend over there to watch his attitude. And when we left, I said that last comment was for my benefit. I said he and I were having a conversation that you were unaware of. He was trying to engage me in the conversation so that he could complete an investigation. I was not going to allow that. I said you gave him my name so that he could do an investigation on me, and you gave him your name so that he can do an investigation on you. If you want him to investigate you, that's all on you. But you don't get to do that with me. Then I told the young man, I said, that officer, he's not been on the job very much, but he understood exactly what was going on. When I told him to stop, please stop. I used the word please. When I told the officer to stop because we had no conversation. You want to do an investigation? Please stop. I'm not participating. I'm not volunteering. Please stop. That is my disaffirmance. I am not volunteering. Now, pay attention. That is natural for me. That is not something I planned to say when that officer walked up. It was not a plan. It is my natural conversation. But when I told him that, he understood exactly what I was saying to him. He's saying, look, I'm going to do the routine. If I find anything in my investigation, I'm going to make an issue of it. And I'm saying, oh no, you're not allowed to investigate me. You don't have any probable cause to investigate me, so shut up. Stop asking me questions. Get on your phone and call your mama, and you can question her all day long, but you don't get to question me. That's what I was saying. Plus, even no matter what happened that day, he wouldn't have been able to question me anyway. I would not have answered any of his questions. We would have played that game. I told the intelligent person who was sitting in the vehicle, I said, sir, if I had bit his telling me to watch my attitude, I said, you don't understand. That is code for nigga. Now, many of y'all may not know that. When a police officer or a judge or somebody in government tells a person of color that they have an attitude, pay attention. And to watch their attitude, that is massa telling a slave to shut up. You see, they're the only ones who have an attitude that needs to be watched. Why do I need to watch my attitude? What about your attitude? What are you doing to observe your ignorance? So I explained that to him. He didn't get it, and some of you won't get it. So we have a discussion after the officer leaves. Now, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, this is a guy who I have to tell him, slow down. There is no need for you to be doing 75 miles an hour in a 55 mile an hour zone. You got somebody else in the car, you can drive as fast as you want. But with me, we ain't playing that. There is no reason to drive that fast. We're in a mountain trail, so it's a windy mountain. And there's some straightaways, but I ain't playing that. All it takes is one squirrel. Ladies and gentlemen, all it takes is one squirrel. Go ask Geico. So, as I am talking with him, I say the problem is you and other people like you who have no resemblance to the so-called colored experience. Trevor Noah, many of you guys, the former Daily Show host, now his own show host, Trevor Noah explained it. In Africa, they had two classes of people. You had blacks and whites, and everybody else was mixed race. The other races. However, because they classified people as either black or white, they came up with a third classification of people. Louisiana knows this. They came up with a third classification, and that was mixed race. The mixed race people were called colored. So if you've ever wondered where the word colored came from, that's where you will get your origins of colored. Colored people, colored folk. And he says colored people was a whole different class of people altogether. That's how they were defined in South Africa with apartheid. Ladies and gentlemen, I told him he had no idea what the experience was on this side of the fence. I said, all you see is what you think you see, what the media tells you. You don't get to see what we've gone through. I said, I've been through traffic stops like that, and they haven't gone like that. I said, if I had a knife on me, we would have been with me outside being put under arrest. I said, I guarantee you, and they would have been searching my vehicle looking for something, like the officer who claimed he found a suspicious substance on the seat of my car. But then he comes back with a little manila package, little small manila package, talking about, pay attention, y'all, because it is so interesting, that he said he got that off the seat of my car. He was able to scrape it together and come to me, and there I was arrested. And it is and I'll say this because I don't mince my words. You guys know I don't take nothing back. I hope that officer ran into a whole lot of problems on the job. I hope he repped what he sold. I hope somebody ended up putting a couple of pieces of metal his way to where he understood. I really do hope that he repped what he sold in so many ways. And I hope his reaping what he sold was violent. Because he did that to me, ladies and gentlemen. Can you imagine how many people he's done that to? Now here I was just driving on the freeway, going home. Nothing wrong, wasn't speeding. I was doing the speed limit, had cruise control on, talking to the two friends I had in the car who didn't have licenses, neither one of them, but he lets them drive my car home knowing that they didn't have a license. Knowing that they didn't have a license, he didn't run their license. He only got mad because we were driving along the freeway, and he gets on the freeway and immediately he pulls behind us because he sees three people of color. This officer, the only reason why this officer did what he did is because he saw a person of color on the driver's side, the passenger side, because we had the window down. I pointed this out to him. I pointed out to him that he wasn't the problem. It was me the whole time. That's why the officer said I had an attitude. And all I simply did was told him I'm the passenger. No, I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. You guys don't understand. In a traffic stop, the passenger is under no obligation, none, to speak to the officer. They don't have to give ID if they're asked to give ID. They're the passenger. It's a traffic stop. The police have no probable cause to question the passengers. Don't you see it all the time? People handing the officer their ID from the passenger side. What the are y'all doing? That's what I was telling that idiot. That I'm not one of those. So not only did he recognize what I was saying, like I said, we were having a conversation. Many of y'all may not have picked up on the conversation, but he did. He picked up on it immediately. He said, it is not illegal for me to ask for your name. It is not illegal for me to ask for your ID. Pay attention. I said, oh, nobody said it was illegal. I didn't have to say, no, but you can't do this, and no, you can't. No. Nobody said it was illegal. See, he used the word legal. That lets me know he knew exactly where I was coming from. And did not attempt to argue from that point on. And look, he asked me for my name, and I told him Eon. He says, you have a last name? My name is Eon. He goes back in the computer. Now, I'm listed in the computer as Eon. Okay, let me show y'all something. Just don't pay too much attention to this. Yeah, we can do this. I do this with courts all the time, because the one that told me my name is okay. Ladies and gentlemen, you go online, you type in the name Eon, you will pull me up. He went and typed in the name Eon, and he saw the court cases. He saw the name Eon being written on the account. Okay, not this Eon. That ain't me. But he saw the name Eon. Okay? They know who Eon does. Oh, look at that. Pay attention. Now they have what Eon stands for. They never had that before. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, and this is the organization. I think this is Australia. Eon. Okay? There's only one person that goes by the name Eon. One. Only one. But when you look it up, it's me. When you are in court and the police look it up, they get my information. Which is why the officer came back and said, I'm going to let you go with a warning. You know what I would have done? I would have got him for his racist remarks. I would have said that he pulled us over due to racism. I would have said that the fact that he recognized there was a knife in that young man's pocket, that there's no way in the world he would have done the same with me. Ladies and gentlemen, I've been in that situation before, and so have many other people of color. See, the limit is you can walk with a 4-inch knife. That's the limit. You can't walk with anything larger than that. How did the officer know? Well, he could take a look at the head and see that it was 4 inches. Really. He couldn't take a look at anything because it was in the guy's pocket, and he's standing outside the vehicle, and he never leant into the vehicle to see. Sorry, give me one quick second. All right, I was back. He never leaned into the vehicle to see the size of the knife or anything. He just did what he did. And all I can say is that was interesting. So that's my experience yesterday with the police. The video I told you guys about, the video I did, that video was designed to help you all understand what to do in situations like that. You're not there to argue. You're not there to make statements. Your job is to simply understand your role. If it is a simple traffic stop, what did you pull me over for? Okay. Complete your investigation. I will not be participating. Give me whatever it is you need to give me, and I'll be on my way. I am exercising my right to remain silent. Do not ask me any questions. Ladies and gentlemen, that's it. You don't have to explain nothing else. If he continues to ask questions, sir, are you attempting to harass me? Okay. And then at that point, he's going to come back with something stupid. So now you say, is there anything else you need, officer? Well, I need, excuse me. Is there anything else you need, officer? Look, I'm going to ask you again. Is there anything else you need, officer? If not, I'd like to be on my way. End the conversation. You're raising your voice, arguing back and forth, paying attention to the officer's word. Ladies and gentlemen, I didn't care what the officer was saying. I didn't care how he was saying it. I didn't care. Look, tell your friend next time he needs to watch his attitude. Ladies and gentlemen, what do I care that he said that? Those are just words, you ignorant mother. Make me watch my attitude. You can think whatever you want to think, but don't say it out loud. There's no reason for you to get into a confrontation with a moron. Let the idiot go about his day. Now, you better believe he went and he had this discussion with his partners, his teams, the other ones, because he needed to understand how to handle that situation better the next time. What do I mean by he needed to understand how to handle that situation better the next time? Because it didn't go the way he would like it to have gone. Somebody got better of him. Somebody took the junk that he was trying to say and made him look stupid in front of somebody else. Ladies and gentlemen, these two quote-unquote white men were having a discussion with each other, and they were buddy almost. Yeah, this is the person I'm with is very naive. They were buddy. And I can't tell you how much that pissed me off, because the same conversation would never have been had with me or anyone else. So, again, when you guys are talking to judges and a judge is asking you a question, stop answering the stupid question. You simply say to the judge, excuse me, what are you asking me? What are you trying to get at, Your Honor? And the judge will say whatever they want to say, and you'll remember the subject of the conversation. But I thought we were here to determine whether or not, first, the jurisdiction of the court is on the record. Because the law says that I'm entitled to know the venue that I'm in. So what is the jurisdiction of this court? That's the first thing all of you should be saying. They call your name the very first hearing. I'm entitled to know the jurisdiction of this court. Bring it back to that. That's your first conversation. Stop saying I'm challenging the jurisdiction of this court. Say I'm entitled to know the jurisdiction of this court. That has to be on the record. So can you please tell me what the jurisdiction is? Now, they are never going to say what the jurisdiction is. If they say anything like statutory jurisdiction or the legislature has done this or that, that's not what I asked you. Can you please tell me specifically what is the jurisdiction of this court? If they say any phrases, statutory, legislative, ordinance, or any of that stuff, all that's a lie. They have two jurisdictions. They have common law jurisdiction or constitutional jurisdiction. There is no other jurisdiction, people. What, you guys didn't know that? There's no delegation of authority for any other jurisdiction. Go and read. Go and read. You'll see there is no delegation of authority for any other jurisdiction. It's either constitutional or common law. Go read the Bill of Rights. Do you guys know the Bill of Rights is the rights for government, not the rights for the people? Bill of Rights protect the rights of the people. You didn't know? Congress shall make no law is a restriction on government. The right to bear arms is a restriction on government. Military, restriction on government. Unlegal searches, restriction on government. Holding someone, restriction on government. Trying someone, restriction on government. Trials, restriction on government. Unlawful detention, restriction on government. Reservations of rights and retentions of rights. Restrictions of government. That's the Bill of Rights. It's restrictions on government, not restriction on you. Those are not your rights. Those are restrictions on government, making sure they do not damage your rights. But you guys aren't aware of this. So there are two jurisdictions, ladies and gentlemen, according to the Constitution. Now, what do you mean by Constitution? I mean the Bill of Rights. You see, those rights were set by the people, not by Congress. The Founding Fathers, stop listening to that bull crap. The Founding Fathers didn't delegate anything to the people. When it says, we the people, it is saying we the people did this, not we the Congress. Stop listening to that Founding Fathers junk. Those are not my fathers. Okay, I'm hoping some of y'all are understanding. Go back and reread the document again. Those are restrictions on government. It's a restraining order by the people. The people are the government in America. But you can't just go out and say the people are the government. That's where some of y'all are getting in trouble, because they're making y'all look stupid to the general public who don't understand these things. You have to understand there are two jurisdictions according to the Constitution. You can even say that to the judge. When you tell them what is the jurisdiction of this court and they say anything, excuse me, there are two jurisdictions according to the Constitution, comma, which one is this? You'll see me say comma because I'm doing the voice recognition all the time. Look, ladies and gentlemen, it's Monday, the 3rd of July. I have motions that I have to complete. Don't have any other, there's no more time. Got to complete them, so I can't go on with this video. Again, as I've been trying to tell people, there are people out there who question what I know, who don't know nothing themselves. These morons, yes, and I can call them morons, have no experience in law whatsoever, but they want to question me. And they question me with case law. Case who? Case law. Coast law. Yeah, they question me with what some judge has said. Ladies and gentlemen, no judge can sit up here and tell me what the law is. How can a judge tell me? That's a public servant. How can they tell me what the law is? Don't you know that everybody's required to know the law? So I don't speak unless I know. You all are going to eventually get there, but I can't help you get there. That's an experience you're going to have for yourselves. Getting back to the understanding. Once you narrow them down on jurisdiction, there are other things you can narrow them down on without having to say much. Trust me, they don't want me in their courts. They do everything in their power to keep me out of their courts. I've been allowing them to play their game the last couple of times because I've been trying to prove something. But I'm not trying to prove anything anymore. I'm not trying to prove anything to them anymore. Now I'm going after heads. And I really am going after jugulars. We'll talk about that in the future, how to go after a judge and how to be successful in doing it within their system. All right? We'll talk about that. Y'all have a good day. We'll be back the next time. 34 minutes. Adios, y'all.